Today, we're opening up the source material with, well, a pretty severe warning. It's aimed at anyone looking to buy real estate in Japan.
Right. And we're not talking about the obvious stuff, like those free abandoned houses you see online.
No, this is something much more subtle. It's a trap that catches investors who think they're being smart.
Exactly. When you approach the Japanese market, you try to avoid the extremes. You see the huge risk of an akiya, a free abandoned house that could be on the verge of collapse.
Sure, you steer clear of that. And on the other end, you see the massive price tag of a brand new, custom architect-designed home.
So what do? The logical thing. You aim for the middle ground. You look for a used home, maybe built in the 90s, early 2000s.
It seems solid, it's affordable, it's not falling apart, and it's half the price of a new build. You think you found the sweet spot.
And that right there, that logical choice is the trap. Because according to all the data we've reviewed, that specific era from the 1980s right up to June 2003 is what's known as the worst vintage in modern Japanese housing.
It sounds so counterintuitive. These places often look fine from the outside. So for this deep dive, we need to unpack why a house that looks perfectly okay is actually a potential health and financial disaster.
That's the mission. Let's get into it.
Okay, so let's start with the engineering. In the 80s and 90s, Japan was really modernizing its building techniques.
They started using materials that were common in the West. Things designed for efficiency, like aluminum windows, better siding.
Advanced sheathing. All things that led to one very specific outcome.
The homes became incredibly airtight. They were sealed boxes, much more sealed than the traditional draftier Japanese houses of the past.
Which is good for insulation, right? For keeping heat in.
It is, but you have to manage the air. And this is where the killer detail comes in. The regulatory framework, it hadn't caught up yet.
Because they sealed the box.
But they forgot to give it lungs. That's the problem. Mandatory mechanical ventilation systems were not required by law.
And at the same time, all the modern building materials, the plywood, wallpaper adhesive, flooring, the particle board, they're all off-gassing chemicals.
Constantly. They emit what are called VOCs, volatile organic compounds. The big one, and the most dangerous, is formaldehyde.
So in an old, drafty house, those fumes would just, they'd escape through the cracks.
They'd dissipate. The wind would blow them away. But in these new airtight 90s homes, the chemicals had nowhere to go, completely trapped inside.
Building up over time.
Precisely. And the source material calls this a chemical soup, which is a pretty accurate description. For the people living there, this leads directly to what's now medically recognized as sick house syndrome.
Okay, and what does that actually feel like for someone living in one of these homes? What are the symptoms?
It's often this collection of mysterious chronic health issues. Things like persistent headaches, sudden allergies, respiratory problems, dizziness, things that just seem to vanish when you leave the house for a while.
The irony here is just incredible. You avoid the freezing cold, drafty akiya.
Right, where the air is at least fresh, even if it's freezing.
For a modern, comfortable home that is, in effect, silently poisoning you.
It's a terrible trade-off.
No.
And it's not just the health risk. There's a structural risk tied directly to this lack of air circulation.
You mean the house itself starts to decay? How does being too airtight make a house rot?
It's all about moisture. You've got this warm, chemical-filled air inside. It hits the cooler surface of the exterior wall, but from the inside.
Okay.
This creates condensation inside the wall cavity itself. The air gets trapped, it cools, and it releases its moisture directly into the insulation, the drywall, the wooden studs.
And moisture plus wood plus darkness. That's just a perfect recipe for mold.
Exactly. Aggressive mold and rot that you can't see. It's happening behind your perfectly painted living room wall. The entire structure can be slowly eaten away, and you wouldn't know until the damage is catastrophic.
So if you're looking at a listing from this entire period, this worst vintage, how do you avoid this? Is there a clear cutoff?
Thankfully, yes. The government did eventually fix this. And there is one single hard line in the sand that every single buyer needs to memorize.
What is it?
July 2003.
July 2003. That's the turning point. So what specifically changed in the law?
In July 2003, the Building Standards Act was revised. And this revision made two critical things mandatory for every new home built from that day forward.
Okay, what was the first one?
Every single home had to be built with a 24-hour mechanical ventilation system. This constantly cycles the air, it flushes out the chemicals, it manages the internal moisture. The sealed box finally got its lungs.
And the second fix, I imagine it addresses the chemicals at the source.
It does. All building materials had to meet a new high safety rating. It's called F4 star.
F4 star. That sounds technical, but what does it mean for you, the person buying the home?
It's all about limiting formaldehyde. F4 star is the highest rating, and it means the materials have the lowest possible level of formaldehyde emissions. Think of the glue and particle board or the resins in plywood.
So the materials themselves became safer.
Drastically safer. Safe enough to be used in a sealed modern home.
This gives you, the listener, a really simple binary filter. You're scrolling through listings, you see a house.
And you look at the build date.
If it says built, June 2003, it was built 1 month before the new law, it's a huge risk.
You should walk away. But if that listing says built August 2003, just 2 months later, you know it is legally compliant. It has the ventilation and it has the safe materials.
That 2-month difference is everything. It's the difference between a potential health hazard and a modern, safe home.
Absolutely.
Okay, now let's transition to the money, because this is where that good deal on a 90s house really starts to fall apart.
Let's run the numbers from the source material. You find a 1995 used home, and you get it for what seems like a steal, say, $80,000, which is about 12 million yen.
An $80,000 house sounds amazing. In most Western countries, that's an unbelievable bargain.
It sounds like it, but you have to understand how Japanese real estate valuation works. It's very different. The building itself is seen as a depreciating asset, like a car.
So the value isn't in the structure.
No, the value is almost entirely in the land it sits on. By the time a wooden house is 20 or 30 years old, its book value is often considered to be zero.
So for $80,000, you're not really buying a solid house. You're buying land with an old structure on it that's sold as is, with no warranty at all.
Exactly. Which means all the maintenance that's been put off for years, it's now your problem immediately.
And what are some of those non-negotiable costs that just crush that initial bargain?
Well, first, in Japan's climate, you absolutely have to maintain the exterior. A new coat of paint or siding repair is critical. That's about $10,000 right there.
Okay.
Then there are termites. It's a warm, humid country. Termite prevention is mandatory. That's another $2,000. Easy.
And what about the big systems? A water heater from 1995 is on borrowed time?
Absolutely. That's going to fail. You should budget another $2,000 for a basic replacement. But here's the thing. Those are just the surface repairs.
Right, that's before you even touch the core problem we've been talking about, the sick house risk.
If you want to fix that, to get rid of that chemical soup, you have to retrofit a 24-hour ventilation system.
And how much does that cost in a house that was never designed for it?
It's incredibly expensive. You're not just putting a fan in a window. You have to cut holes in walls, run new ductwork, wire it all up, and make sure it distributes air properly. It is a major, major renovation.
So we take our $80,000 bargain, we add 10 grand for paint, 2 for termites, 2 for a water heater, and now this massive ventilation retrofit. What's our total now?
You have easily and very conservatively jumped from $80,000 to over $110,000 just to make the old house safe and habitable.
And at the end of all that spending, what do you own? You've got a $110,000 investment in an old depreciated building that still has no warranty.
And will need more expensive maintenance very, very soon.
Which brings us to the most surprising part of this whole thing. Why would you spend $110,000 fixing an old liability when the market for brand new houses presents this bizarre anomaly?
This is where you see the power of Japan's high-volume home builders. Companies like the Ida Group, which builds under brand names like Ernest One, they've completely changed the math.
The sources gave a real-world example of this, a brand new spec home, a Tate Yuri, for sale in Ibaraki Prefecture. What was the asking price?
The price for that brand new home was 15.9 million yen.
Which, in US dollars, is what?
It's just over $100,000. About $105,000.
Wait, hold on. A brand new house fully compliant with modern codes for $105,000? That sounds way too low. What's the catch?
There isn't one, really. It's just extreme efficiency and economies of scale. The Ida Group builds something like 40,000 houses a year. They use standardized designs, prefabricated parts, and streamlined construction.
They build them like cars on an assembly line.
In a way, yes. And that insane efficiency lets them sell a new product for less than the total cost of renovating an old one.
So let's lay out the final choice for the listener. Option A, you spend a total of $110,000 fixing up the toxic 1995 house.
Or option B, you spend $105,000 on the brand new Ernest One house.
The new house is actually cheaper.
It's cheaper. And that's before you even look at what you get for your money. The value proposition is on a completely different level.
Tell us about the specs. What do you get with that $105,000 new Fortress?
First, seismic safety. It's built to seismic grade 3. That's the highest possible rating. It's the same standard required for buildings like fire stations and police stations.
So it can withstand the strongest earthquakes. What about comfort?
It has insulation grade 4. That means it's warm in the winter, cool in the summer. Your energy bills will be a fraction of what they'd be in a drafty, uninsulated 90s house.
And of course, it has all the modern health standards.
By law, yes. It has the 24-hour ventilation and the F4-star materials built in from day one.
And what about the financial security, the warranty?
That's maybe the biggest thing. New homes in Japan come with a mandatory 10-year warranty against structural defects. If the foundation cracks, the builder has to fix it. That 1995 house, you're on your own.
And just to be clear, that $105,000 price for the new build includes the land?
It includes the land.
So the paradox is complete. Why would anyone pay more money, $110,000, for a risky, outdated chemical soup from 1995?
When you can pay less, $105,000, for a brand new, seismically superior energy-efficient Fortress with a 10-year warranty.
It makes no sense when you do the math.
The used market in that specific vintage, from the 80s to June 2003, is fundamentally broken. It's a false bargain because the cost to fix its inherent flaws is so high, it completely erases any upfront savings.
The truly smart move, then, isn't chasing that cheap sticker price. It's doing the full cost analysis and seeing that new construction is, weirdly, the better financial deal.
The lesson is simple. Don't buy history, buy standards. The standards changed for a very good reason.
So we really want to leave you with this. Check the build date on every single listing you look at. And remember that critical line in the sand, July 2003.
And here's a final thought to take with you. We've talked about the financial anomaly created by builders like the Yeda Group, but maybe consider the deeper cultural reason for it. This tradition in Japan of constantly rebuilding, of prioritizing the new over preserving the old, is what makes this market so unique. Does that rapid depreciation cycle create other kinds of opportunities, maybe in different vintages, that are worth exploring?